Welcome to episode 45 of TerrorVision Horror Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Dan McGuinness, and joining me on the Midnight Meat Train is my co-host, Jennifer, the Dream Destroyer, Strand.
Do I toot toot?
Yeah.
It's more like a...
Dream Smasher. That's what I wanted to say, because you've got that on your Facebook.
That is a nickname that I was given to by a customer of mine.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Every week, we take one horror movie and cut it to pieces with our internet words. Together, we are two people with a love of horror and feel the burn of our obsolete Blockbuster / Movieland / all the other video shops memberships. Rest in peace. Mm-hmm. I just like to thank all of our listeners who support us over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Castbox, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and the YouTube. We love you. And if you go over and interact with us on any of those platforms, you get a shout out to the people who do it a lot. Mm-hmm. So thank you to Sam Cripps for lending us the DVD of Bunny the Killer Thing, which one day we'll watch.
I've watched it, yeah.
Bryn Phillips, Eric Chader, Dion Cracknell, Shane, was it McIntyre?
Yeah.
Is that Shane-O?
Shane-O.
And thank you to all our mums who like all of our posts that we put up, no matter what it is.
But never listen to the episodes.
They never do.
That's fine.
All right, rolling straight into our fun facts this week. Jen, what is your fun fact?
Okay. I have been banned from an Adelaide nightclub for punching a guy in the dick.
Oh.
Not once, but a couple of times.
What, like, as in three consecutive, a triple hit? Or just, like, once, and then you didn't learn, and you had to do it again?
Yeah.
The same man?
The same man, yeah.
The same dick?
Same dick, same man, yeah. I was at a Adelaide nightclub with a friend. I hate nightclubs. I hate going out. And
when you say nightclub, what sort of nightclub? Are you talking, like Heaven?
No, I'm talking like the London Tavern.
So are they nightclubs? That's more of like,
I
that's
don't
more
know.
of a drink hole.
Yeah. I don't know, on a Saturday night.
What
Not
are they
somewhere
called?
I would
They're
go.
called, they're actually called meat markets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gross.
So I don't know if any of you know, big surprise to everyone, I'm a little bit gay. So places like that I have no desire to go to, generally, let alone the men that inhabit these places.
What if it's a gay nightclub or a club?
I don't know.
Do you go to LGBT hangouts?
I don't.
Fair enough.
No.
I mean, you've got basically a wife anyway. Well,
That's exactly right. Yeah.
yeah.
My whole house is a gay
Nightclub?
gay hangout.
A club.
But yeah, so I was with a friend who was recently single, wanted to go out for a night, and, we went out. This guy just came up to me and he just would not leave me alone, and I gave him several warnings. I'm like, I'm not interested. If you come near me again, I'm literally going to punch you in the dick. And he did, and I punched him in the dick.
Now, was he tall?
He was relatively tall.
Did you have to take a knee to do this?
I had to bend the knee to punch him. No.
Was it an uppercut into the dick? Because I'm intrigued by this story, because I need to know because I don't understand how you would like punch a dick without having to like lower your body or at least take a dick punching position.
No. I mean, you don't really have to bend too much to punch a dick.
So it's just a downward punch.
Yeah, pretty
With
much.
all the force of the world's gravity.
But rather than like punching down, you kind of swing your arm.
And what did he do?
Well, when you punch a dude in the dick, they tend to like
Fall?
go down a little bit, but then they tend to sort of grab you because they're not really happy that you've just punched them in the dick.
Oh, so
then you punch them again.
So you got a scruffle, and then did you get kicked out?
I got kicked out.
Makes sense, I
Yeah.
suppose. You did assault somebody.
Well,
And so he assaulted you. Very topical.
he asked for it.
Yeah.
So, what's your fun fact?
I have never punched anyone in the dick, I don't think. But going on the theme of being banned, I've been black banned from the New York Bar and Grill. I don't think that band is there anymore because there's new management. This is a long time ago. This is when it was new, and it was it was basically the NYBG on Thursday nights.
Yep, young and hip Dan McGuinness.
No. For those who don't know what it is, it's basically a restaurant that turns into a cesspool of bloody meat market.
Yep.
I don't know if it still does it. I don't think it does. Actually, I don't think it's there anymore.
I have no
I think
idea.
it's just a restaurant now.
Yeah.
Anyhow, we used to go there because I worked like a terrible job. It was shift work and it was open on a Thursday night. Mm-hmm. But we used to get loose and we got kicked out every time. And eventually we got black banned. And the last thing that broke the camel's back was, I can't remember we had a name for it. You know, your mates making up things. But what you do is you'd throw a drink onto the dance floor, take off your shirt, and then run and walrus or seal slide on your tummy, and you would become a bowling ball and you would bowl into the people dancing and knock them over. It had a name, I can't remember what it was, but yeah, that was one of many infringements that I did. But that was the one that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
I became a human bowling ball and got banned from the NYBG. I should have written it like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my fun fact. I mean, if we want to do banned nightclub facts, I can keep doing that.
Well, I've just got the one.
Oh.
So I'm generally not a very confrontational person, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I used to be party central.
Yeah, I've never been party central. If the party's on the couch eating, like, Cheetos, I'm there.
Well, that is my party now.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much Liz Lemon now. We both are.
I am Liz Lemon.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
All right, so let's move on to our spoiler course. Yes, every week Jennifer and I set ourselves a horror movie to watch and we go through it scene by scene and spoil the fuck out of it. It's a deep dive into glorious gore, hard edits, cheesy acting, directing madness, severed wangs and compound fractures. We haven't had a compound fracture in a while.
It has been a while.
Definitely didn't in this film coming up. We have a rating system. Go.
Okay, so for those of you playing at home, we've got the A, awesome, everybody should watch. B is our beer and chicken wing group movie. F is for fun and dumb. C is a classic that's worth a watch. U is underrated. G, good for its time but is not held up. We've got the J, Jen special. The D, Dan special. We've got a W, which is whatever, so off my radar. We've got the Kesha, a low budget hot mess. And we have the cream of the crap, the McConaughey. The fucking fucked.
Not saying that McConaughey's fucked. It's just the film that he was in was fucked.
And this is now the basis of
everything.
How we rate things.
Of life.
So, you know.
Yeah, the circle of life involves the McConaughey fucking fucked. It's going to come up in, the next Evangelion movie. I'm sure it's in that.
Yeah.
What is it? Three plus one?
Yeah. And
so what, you mean 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're just going to stand there and be like, oh, this is such a McConaughey.
No, then McConaughey will just come into it and do his line from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Mecha McConaughey.
Oh my god.
How cool would that be?
Yeah, that's Shin McConaughey coming out. Anyhow, so the movie we watched this week was Cursed from 2005. This movie has a lineage of fuckeries behind it.
Oh my god, yes. All right, so
yeah.
Lost
myself.
That's the thing. Like, you're like, okay, where do I start on this dumpster fire of a mess of a film? So directed by Wes Craven, who we know and love.
Yeah. So for those who don't know what Wes Craven did, he did Elm Street.
Yes.
Scream. Some others.
He's done a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. And there's all those other ones where you go, oh yeah, it's Wes Craven.
I like Craven.
Like this film.
Yeah. Screenplay by Kevin Williamson, who also did the screenplay for Scream. He did the screenplay for, I think it was I Know What You Did Last Summer, as well. And he's done like a bunch of stuff. It stars basically every famous not teen playing a teen in Hollywood at the time. So Portia de Rossi's in it. Maya.
Wait, who? Portia. Which one was she?
She was Zelda. She was the lady who read minds.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Shannon Elizabeth, who you know from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Jesse Fuckface Eisenberg. Milo Ventimiglia, the dreamboat from Gilmore Girls and that show that he's currently on at the time. Christina Ricci, who we... Wednesday Addams, and Joshua Jackson.
Is that Pacey?
That's Pacey.
I've just called him Pacey the whole time because I don't know who he is.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Also, the love of my life, who doesn't know it, Judy Greer.
Which one's she?
She's one of the main ladies.
Main ladies?
Yeah, she's the publicist.
Oh, the publicist, which I only just called publicist because I don't know if she had a name.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Anyhow, we will get into the publicist. What's its budget?
Yes.
What dollar signs did they throw into this?
Budget information is a little hazy, and I'll sort of explain why in a minute. So the budget was between 38 and 75 million.
That's a lot of millions that they don't know whether it was there or not.
Exactly. And the box office was just shy of 30 million. So this, I'm going to say, is a fail.
Yeah.
Like this,
this is a fail on every aspect of failure.
Yeah, definitely. So this film went through I wouldn't even say directing hell. This film
Development
went
hell?
through the butthole of the Weinstein Company.
Oh.
Who are the scourge of, cinema. So basically, there was a script, there was an initial script, there was an initial idea.
And I reckon that script, in an alternate timeline, if that script got made, the original script that Wes and Kevin made together, it would have been a wicked film.
Very much so.
It would have been good. But anyhow.
So this got rewritten so many times. I think Rick Baker was in at one point doing the creature effects for the werewolf. They changed so much. There was so many rewrites, so many changes, so many casting dropouts, so many people got cut from the film. So Rick Baker has nothing to do with this film at all, but they've put him in the title cards because he's a good draw. There's no remnants of him in this film. So the Weinstein Company decided many times that they were going to change it because they wanted it to be more like this or more like that. In the end, they're like, we basically want it to be Scream, but with a werewolf.
It's basically
what I
wrote. Yeah.
What it is.
But, yeah, and then trying to turn it into that.
So this, I think they took about 7 years in total to make this film.
So that's 7 years. Films shoot for 8 weeks usually. This one, and then a couple of weeks for 7 years.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that the actors just didn't look like completely different people by the end.
Well, at one point, because so many people got cut. So Ileana Douglas was in it, Heather Langenkamp, Scott Foley, Omar Epps, Robert Foster, James Brolin, Corey Feldman. They were all in it. They all got cut. Skeet Ulrich was in it, who is the main killer from Scream. He was meant to be in it as a love interest, but when they're like, you want me to be the love interest, but the killer, I've done that. I'm not interested in doing that. So even Judy Greer at one point stated, I don't know why the movie got so fucked up. I don't understand it. I thought the script was fine. Honest to God, I didn't get the big deal. I don't know who kept making them fuck with it. And she's like, then we shot the movie for 7 years. She's like, I think they said we had 4 movies worth of footage. It was so fun, but so weird. I don't get it. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, so it just got destroyed.
Yeah.
Destroyed by idiots.
Yeah.
By the bureaucracy of the Weinsteins. Steins doesn't matter.
Fuckheads.
It got Franken-Weinstein.
Yep, it did.
Steined.
So they can suck a dick.
Anyhow.
So.
What's its synopsis?
Yes, very good.
What's its tagline?
So what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Yeah.
Fitting for this. What happened to this film? No.
It did not make anyone stronger. A werewolf loose in Los Angeles changes the lives of 3 young adults who, after being mauled by the beast, learn they must kill their attacker if they hope to change their fate to avoid becoming werewolves too.
That bit where it's like they have to kill their attacker, I didn't actually get that bit until the last second of the film.
Oh, really?
Is what they were doing.
Oh.
I was like,
That's basic werewolf lore though, so.
All right. The film. Let's get into it.
Sure.
It opens. It starts with a woo sound effect, someone doing an woo wolf sound. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Set the scene.
If you didn't realise you were watching a werewolf film, now you know.
Yeah.
We get this terrible carnival scene where Bowling for Soup, who are a shit-ass pop punk band.
Oh, is that who it was?
That's who it
I wrote
was.
Poor Man's No Effects.
Yes.
And the lead singer looked like Tim Heidecker from Tim and Eric. As in he looked like a fake man.
Yeah.
So that was a real band.
That's a real band, yes.
I thought they'd hired urchins.
No,
to
no.
play.
No, this is a real band. They're a terrible band, and they are butchering a cover of Little Red Riding Hood, and I believe that's a Rolling Stones song.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so we're at this carnival. They've set the scene. Carnival.
You know at carnivals there's live punk bands playing? It was a punk band as well. So it was
I use that term very loosely. Please.
Yeah, pop punk.
Yeah, pop
It was
punk.
a pop punk band with 50-something age men playing in it. You're just oh god. Don't get me wrong, Bad Religion. I mean, those dudes are they're in their olds now, and they can still do all that
Those
stuff.
guys
But
wail.
These guys were like Tim and Eric.
Yeah.
Looking like dudes.
No, it was, Anyway, so 2 young girls, Shannon Elizabeth and Maya, they rock up to get their palms read because why wouldn't you?
I thought this was the same girl. These girls in this scene looked exactly the same. I thought they'd just done, they were doing a twins thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, they look exactly the same. And they also look like Jessica Alba because it's that time of
it's
what
around
girls
that
look
time.
like. Yeah.
Yep. So
They've got the
rock up.
bangs, you know.
Yeah. Bangs are just terrible. One of them sort of been dumped by a young lad, and she wants to know a little bit, will he come back into my life? Anyway, the palm reader is played by Portia de Rossi, who's just playing some ditzy kind of like mentalist. I don't know.
Yeah, she does palm readings on the side, but she has actual real powers when she needs them.
Yeah, they'll come into play. She immediately grabs one of the girl's hands and she starts the doom talk. She's like,
She's like, oh, fuck.
She's like, there's blood on your hands. You guys are in danger. Like, it's the beast you should fear.
And they're like, we want to know about our boyfriends.
It's like,
You're a fuckhead. Like, they basically say it, and they storm off angry. They're like...
That's pretty much... She's like, beware the moon. It feeds in the moonlight. And they're just pretty much like, lay off the crack pipe.
Yeah.
And they leave.
So the twins leave.
One of them runs off because she's all like pissy that, she didn't turn around and be like, yeah, that boy will realize that he does love you and he will come back and you weren't just a one night thing.
No.
So she runs off and the other girl goes off after her.
Are they talking about the guy?
Yes.
As in the main guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get that.
Because that comes back later on.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it does. But yeah, so rather than like when you are out with someone, so if you go out with friends, you usually have a meeting place. Like, if we get separated, I'll meet you by the Ferris wheel. No. She's just pissed off somewhere.
She's ran off.
She's running around.
Flailing.
She's now out of the carnival and she's like standing at the edge of the beach because it's,
Dude, how much was this biting into the Lost Boys opening? Mm-hmm. If you can remember the Lost Boys opening with the carnival on the beach and, and all that stuff. And I was like, and with the band, what music involved, showing carnival scenes. I was just like, this is the opening of Lost Boys done through like a video filter. Like, it was so bad.
Yeah, not a
And then
good
we have the girl just yelling out for her friend, Jenny, into the ocean.
Just into the ocean.
Because why would Jenny be in the ocean? She's not a mermaid.
She could be. We don't know. Anyway, Jenny is nowhere to be seen, and we cut to Hollywood.
Why not?
Hollywood
Hills.
The hills, the streets, the people. We've got crazy new metal over it, and it's like...
And it's daytime.
Terrible metal.
It's daytime? Yeah, it's daytime.
No, it's nighttime.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah, that's fine.
The lights of Hollywood dazzled me.
Yeah.
So we cut to a girl working in a cinema. Is that
It's
right?
a wax museum.
Was it a wax museum?
It looks like a cinema.
Yeah, well, I wrote a cinema here because it looked like a cinema, but at the time I got to this. My notes are chronological.
That's fine. Yeah.
So there are like bits in this, my notes, I'll be saying, they're the thoughts I had at that time of like, my guess of what's going to come up next in the film. So we got a girl working in a waxworks. Oh, was that the waxworks that's later on in it? Oh my God, Jesus. And she's working behind the, what is it?
Behind the counter.
Behind the ticket booth or whatever, and a dog rolls in.
Yay, dogs.
She's like, hey, doggy.
I love dogs. Come here, pat me. Followed by fuckface Eisenberg.
Why don't you like Eisenberg?
Okay, so Jesse Eisenberg is a huge piece of shit human being. So aside from the fact that he has a punchable face, he always has this very smug... Like, what you're saying to me amuses me because I'm really smart and you're really dumb and beneath me.
Perfect for when he played in The Social Network, when he played, what's his name? Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Essentially, Jesse Eisenberg plays the same character in everything he is in.
He's like the betrodden guy who's smarter than everyone else, and he's angry at the world because as a smart, cool dude, he should be the one on top.
Pretty much, but he's just not. He's such a weed of a human being.
His dick attitude is bringing him down.
He does, and like he plays the same character in literally everything, and he has a punchable face in literally everything.
Why did he get chosen for Lex Luthor?
I don't. He is also a notorious asshole outside, like in the real world. So he's been in interviews where he's just being such a prick to people. So I fucking hate him.
Yeah, fair enough.
I have many a rant. So he is fuckface Eisenberg.
All right. I don't know much about him, apart from the fact he's Lex Luthor. That's it, really. And he was in that Social Network. He comes in. It's his dog. He talks to this girl. He's like, he's kind of trying to chat with her. He's a loser.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we go to school together. She's like, really? He's like, yeah.
I mean, like 14 of your classes.
You in like science, math, English.
Yeah,
for the last 3 years.
It's just like, this old chestnut.
Yeah.
Anyhow, her boyfriend rocks up, who I've just called boyfriend for a long time in the film until I guessed his name, which was Bo.
Yeah, played by Milo,
Kerrigan.
that guy. The Gilmore Girls boyfriend.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
I've never seen Gilmore Girls, so that doesn't matter. He rocks up and he's all like, so straight away they imply him. He's like the jock dick boyfriend. He comes in and he starts repeatedly just gay bashing this dude. And it's just like...
It's hard, like hard gay bashing.
And it's like, you know, the F word. We can say... No, we can't. I'm not even going to say
no,
it.
That's fine.
It's just like, it's just repeated lines of like, what? And I'm not even sure if it was supposed to be funny. Because I don't know, like... Cause anyhow, he starts just ragging on Jimmy.
Yep.
Who's Jesse Eisenberg. Jimmy, like, you know, you're saying he's gay and all stuff like that. And, like, and this retort goes on for a while. And I've written in my notes, if I wasn't watching this for this podcast, I would have turned it off at this point.
He's even, like, implying that the dog's gay as well.
Yeah.
And like, look, it's one thing to bash Eisenberg, but you leave that dog alone.
But he just doesn't call... what's his name? Jimmy gay. He also... Like, there's one of his comments basically pays out the whole gay community, as in, like, he's not just calling someone gay, he's also saying how bad it is to be called gay.
Yeah.
Which is just like...
It is, this scene is super problematic, and
I mean, they try and, like, I reckon they, like, try to retcon it later or whatever, but, like, it just didn't work.
Well,
you know
I'm
what I mean?
curious because it's streaming on Netflix in America. I'm curious as to whether or not they've cut some of it out, because we are now in a society where people are...
It's just so facepalmy.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible.
Anyhow, that's it, basically.
Yeah. He basically, you know, takes the girl and he goes off with the girl and leaves Jimmy standing there with his...
And then Jimmy walks off with his dog,
Yeah.
pays out that his dog's gay as well.
Leave the dog alone.
And then, he just basically walks off, and we in a scene where it instills that obviously Jimmy must be one of those losers who gets called gay. And now let's drop that. And now we cut to Ellie, the new character, Christina Ricci.
In a power suit.
In a power suit.
Looking boss.
And this was confusing. Like, so, she's just on, at first I wrote, is she on the set of a movie or something? Like, at first, there's nothing to show where she was. There's all this wacky, you know, like, stage shit everywhere.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like, it's Hollywood. She could be...
Exactly.
She could be on the set of a film. She could be in a nightclub. She could be at home. Who knows?
I just read on the set of a movie or something. She's talking to Jimmy on her phone.
Yep. Who is whinging a bunch about... He's like, I'm a teenager. I'm alone. Where are you? Like, you were meant to be here. Basically, like...
And he mentions that he is her brother out of context as well. Like, you know when you're talking to your brother or your sister and you just go like, hey, I'm your brother.
Yeah.
What?
I'd be like, okay, and hang up.
Yeah. It's just like, so he just says a line that just for us to know that they're brother and sister. So it's very ham.
Sets the tone.
We're going to rag on this film, eh?
Oh, yes. So she's at Tinsel. It's a nightclub, and I'm guessing it was a nightclub for goths, possibly. And in comes Joshua Jackson, and they start having a conversation.
Is that Pacey?
That is Pacey.
His name's Jake.
It is, yes.
I've written in here to remind myself.
Yep.
Pacey, so little chubby cheek Pacey's here.
Yes.
He's the main heartthrob.
So this is his...
And he seems to be in charge of this place.
This is his nightclub, and he's explaining... so we kind of get this feeling that, like, she's really into him, and he's kind of like,
aloof.
I've probably had sex with you once or twice, and I'm kind of over it.
See, I didn't get that at all. I just got mixed emotions from this guy, the constant charm. Like,
very mixed emotions.
And I've written here in my thing, it's a horror-themed restaurant now. Like,
I would be okay with that. No, it wasn't that. It was, like, meant to be, I think, a nightclub or a museum. Something.
And then there's, like, heaps of kissing.
Yeah, so he's like banging on about, I won't be at the opening, and because she's like, we can go together, and he's like, look,
the opening to his own nightclub.
Yeah, I've got 4 days of work to do, and the opening's in 2 days. But like, I like you, but I probably won't be there. Kind of, it's
And what do you mean? Why wouldn't you be at your own thing? It doesn't make any sense. They're trying to make him that he's like aloof and like mysterious, but he just comes across as like inconsistent.
Yes.
Like his acting of like what he thinks. And it comes up in the movie heaps.
Yeah.
Like he'll be saying something and it'll cut to her saying something. And the next shot he'll have a different expression on his face and different tone of everything. And it's just like, oh man, this is cut together real weird. Yeah, no, they start kissing, and there's just way too much kissing.
Yeah.
It's like they filmed a whole scene like we think we care about watching people kiss.
No, I don't. And then he starts showing off the medieval torture devices and all the...
They start making sex jokes at each other.
Yeah,
and
they start having a walk
and then
around.
they suddenly are fully into each other. And they're like, man, I can't wait to be with you. I'm like, didn't you say you weren't going to be with each other? And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, Ellie starts being the person who's like, something's wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's nothing happening. There's like three... this conversation has like 3 moods in it with no points of like why it changes. And that happens in the film a lot.
It's so much. So he's like walking her around this location, and he's showing off all of these other cool props. So at one point there is off in the very background, you can see like a Freddy Krueger waxwork, which is a nice little homage. And then a lot of it is the Universal monsters, because obviously when you think werewolf, you do think Wolfman, or
Weirdly enough, when you say werewolf to me, the first film that comes to my mind, embarrassingly, is American Werewolf in Paris.
Yep, that's fair.
No, it's not.
Fair. Yeah, I mean,
it should be like the Monster Squad.
It should be.
Because
nards.
Yeah.
And he makes a very point of saying, oh, look, we've got this sterling silver cane for the 50th anniversary of the Wolfman. So there's like this very like, this is a thing that's really important. Okay,
that's going to come up later on, obviously.
Yeah, but it's so very quickly done that it kind of loses it, I think.
Because the acting is the worst. Pacey's acting in this is the worst.
Yeah.
Anyway, we cut to Ellie and Jimmy, and they're driving.
Yes.
It's a hard cut. They're just together now. She's obviously going to pick them up or some shit. And they're just having this like boring sibling conversation.
He's laying so much guilt trip on her as well. Like it is a boring conversation, but he is being such a manipulative little twat that, You
get angry because of him in real life. You just hate him.
Because he's just rocked up on set and he's acting like himself.
And then all of a sudden, a wolf runs over the car, breaking the windscreen. So you can imagine it's just kind of run at them, and then jumped over the car and run over the car. But as it steps on the windscreen, it does a smash in it.
Yeah,
they're like, "Oh fuck, shit!" They drive into it. They swerve. That was just my voice didn't work. They skid into an oncoming car or some shit. The other car, which I couldn't work out which car fell off the road. I thought it was them.
At one point I'm like, oh shit, they fell off the road. Wait, no, that wasn't them. Okay, so it was the other car that went.
Yeah, so they knock another car off, and that bowls down the Hollywood Hills, ass over tit.
Which, if you recall, it goes for a while. It's like do 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 crash, but then when Ellie goes down, it takes her like 2 seconds to get down.
Yeah, well, the magic of film.
It's true. Don't worry, guys. The dog is okay in all of this. I just like to report.
That's when I realised that they weren't the ones that rolled off. I went, hang on, why is the dog just still sitting? Oh, that wasn't them.
Oh, that wasn't them. But the dog's okay. So she gets Jimmy to call for help while she goes down.
She warps down there.
Yeah, the side of the cliff to find the car. In the car, she finds a female screaming. It is one of the girls from the carnival.
Yeah.
So Shannon Elizabeth's
I've written the girl
character.
that was with the fortune teller at the start. Yep. So it's the other Jessica Alba.
Yep. And so she's like, okay, I can't get you out. Like, you're stuck. My legs are stuck. I can't get out.
I couldn't work out what she was stuck on, but cool.
No.
Because she didn't look like she was in that much pain. She was just stuck upside down. The car's upside down.
Yeah.
She's on the roof. And I'm like, just take the seatbelt off. And now we cut back up to Jimmy. He's calling like 911.
He's trying to flag down some
cars.
cars.
That doesn't work. Anyhow, Jimmy goes down to help.
Yep.
He gets in there as well, and he has a look. It was all kind of like, come look at the person that's stuck in the car.
Yeah, it's like
he gets in the car and he's like, ooh, sexy babe.
Yep.
Gross.
So he tries to get her out of the car,
and he kind of does. So he kind of does something. You can't see what he's doing, and she kind of like, oh yeah, my leg's free.
Yeah.
He goes, all right, cool, get out. And just as she goes to get out, a big fucking wolf grabs her.
Fuck it, yeah. Just
From
breaks
the other
through
side.
the glass, bites through her shoulder, and drags her off into the bushes.
And I'm like, okay, cool.
I'm like,
no. First, it doesn't drag her off. She's like, because they grab onto her.
They do, don't they?
So she's like getting attacked by the wolf, and they're like, oh my god, we'll help you by pulling you away from the wolf. So,
that's right.
So
Jimmy grabs her legs.
And then he starts to get pulled through the car, and then
Ellie
grabs his legs, and they become this hilarious flat human centipede.
Yep.
Getting dragged through the forest together, like, oh my, you just let go.
Yeah.
You wouldn't just keep hanging on. Imagine getting dragged on the ground in a forest. Like, you're being stabbed with every... And they're getting dragged through the forest and the girl... And then suddenly... And then, like, they just kind of let go.
Yeah. They let go. They run back to the other side of the car where it is safe. And we kind of just hear this, like, devouring.
Num, 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 num.
Num, 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 num.
Yeah.
Tasty.
But also we see that Jimmy gets scratched. I don't know where this happened, because at no point was he ever near the wolf. You can imagine, like, the wolf's grabbing a person and he's grabbing onto her ankles, and then she's grabbing onto his ankles, and for some reason he's got a claw mark down his chest all of a sudden. At no point was he even near the wolf.
No. So he's got a claw mark across his chest. She's got one on her arm.
Yeah, Ellie was like way far back. Yeah.
I don't know how no, okay, that's fine. Paramedics...
Because I've written Ellie got bitten, I think.
Yeah, it was either a bite or a scratch. I don't even know.
Anyhow, they've both been wolf scratched, which, as everyone knows, is that the way? I thought how do you become a werewolf?
Like a wolf bites you?
It is traditional.
Or scratches
what?
you, like...
It's just scratch?
Yeah.
What do they got? What do they got under their claws? I feel their saliva would
I'd
change
say so.
but what about their claws?
Who knows?
Anyhow, the cops rock up, the ambulance rocks up. It's they're up there like, oh fuck, that was shit.
Yes.
No one seems to care about them. They just go home.
No, well, they're like, oh, it could have been a mountain lion or a bear. There's no wolves in this town. And Jimmy's like,
I know.
Well, I'm smarter than you all. I'm pretty certain it's a wolf.
Yeah, he does have that attitude, doesn't he?
Jimmy goes to check on Zipper and just make sure he's okay.
Zipper's the dog, by the way.
Yeah, sorry.
I just called him dog.
He's not having a bar of it. He's like crouched down. He's growling. And as Jimmy goes to give him a pat, he bites him.
Yeah, Jimmy's dog doesn't like him anymore.
So yeah, Zipper knows. He knows.
Now Jimmy has no friends because now his dog hates him as well.
So they rock up at home. The cops have dropped them at home, and of course...
They fully just let them...
yeah.
I mean...
Let's not take anyone in for questioning. Let's not go to the hospital for tetanus shots or anything like that.
You've just been in a car accident.
Well, you're claiming you've been bitten by a wild animal. You would be going and getting rabies shot. You are getting shots in the ass, my friend.
Anyhow.
Yep. So they rock up at home. The dog doesn't want to come inside. It's kind of like... and eventually it just goes bolting up the stairs and well away from them. Not a problem. And then, so once again, Ellie tries to talk to Jimmy about everything that's happened.
And he's 100% unreasonable.
And he starts acting like a fucking dickhead again because,
And like, he's angry at Ellie for some reason. I couldn't work out why he's even angry at her. It's just like, you're my brother, you're my sister. You're supposed to be hanging out with me? Is that the only reason why he was angry? And his life is shit because his sister won't hang out? I don't know.
I'm guessing it's all rooted because obviously, like, they're trying
to like
the parents are dead.
They're trying
to
instill. So
he's still in high school. He's like 16, 17.
She's like the mother figure.
And she's now taken him on. She's looking after him. And obviously, he seems like he would have been one hell of a mama's boy as well. So he's not getting the same kind of attention from his sister as he would from a mum. So he's not having... This is me psychoanalyzing.
It's true. Like, or it's just bad acting. We cut to Jimmy in his bedroom. The shot of his bedroom. He's a teen. He has, werewolf comics everywhere.
Yeah.
Just so happens he has heaps of comics about werewolves.
That's convenient.
He's on this old school Mac, those coloured Macs.
Yeah.
Doing a bit of, and here we go, research.
Oh, I love a Google research.
So he's like, he's looking up wolves. First thing, wolves in LA.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool band name. And then he's like, he scrolls down, and then suddenly it's werewolves. And he's like, oh fuck yeah, that seems plausible.
That seems more up my alley.
And
then it's like unsolved animal attacks.
Yeah, unsolved animal attacks. What do you mean?
Yeah,
an animal attacked you. Solved.
Yeah, but what animal?
Doesn't matter.
It was a mongoose, I swear.
Yeah, it was a snake. It was a hoop snake. It rolled down the hill after me.
Shit. Yep. That's it. That's the end of that. We're getting...
And we're like, he knows what's going on.
Because he's 100% sure in his mind that he is 100% right and he needs to have all the facts that he can just lay out to everyone and be like, you're a dickhead.
And the facts are created by Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut to later on the night. Ellie wakes up. And I'm like, dark skies.
Yeah.
It's going to come down, the jars are going to be fucked.
Ooh.
Ellie gets up in the middle of the night. She goes down. she locks the house.
Yeah, she's just making sure everything's been locked. The window that she had previously locked before they all went up to bed has now is open.
She has a wolf-themed clock for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
A cuckoo clock that has a wolf that comes out of it and scares it. I'm like, who has a wolf-themed cuckoo clock?
Yeah, it's like a cute little Red Riding Hood one. I'm like, sure.
Yeah, like, I mean, laying it on thick enough, guys?
She goes back towards the front of the house, and now that the front door is open.
Oh, shit. And she's got alien problems.
She turns
Surprise,
around.
Jesse's just an alien.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. She turns around and Jake.
Surprise, it's your boyfriend Jake. He's in the house.
He's in your house.
And I'm like,
at 2 a.m.
This is where it started scream.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, right, now the boyfriend's rocking up at the house, exactly the scene from Scream where he rocks up at the house, kind of, and it's to make you think, oh, hang on.
This guy.
What are you doing? And I'm like, are you just trying to lay on this weirdness to make me think he's the killer straight away? You know, like they're trying to do red herrings.
Yeah. He's like, oh, we need to talk. Your key was under the mat, so I just let myself into your house in the middle of the night. But, let's talk, let's make out.
Right. They exchange the worst dialogue and then kiss.
That is accurate.
And he was like, Pacey's all like, or Jake, he's like, I'm just so scared. And I'm like, oh God, like what? And this is another one of those conversations where he starts being scared. And then all of a sudden now he is like, can't live without her.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but you just said you didn't like her before.
You were literally just saying that you're a turd sandwich. But yeah.
And then suddenly Ellie, out of the blue, bites Jake on the neck. And we get a montage of quick horror wolf-based images.
Yeah, so there's she's bent over and her spine's transforming and something. It's the skin's bubbling a little bit, fingers are elongating. And there's blood and there's...
Yeah, it's like when she bites into Jake, she gets these memories flooding into her, and then
it's like
wake up. She wakes
it's
up.
The things
it's all
to come.
It's fine. It's all a dream. And taking the exact cues from Slumber Party Massacre too.
It was all a dream.
Also, Jimmy wakes up the next morning and he's naked outside of the house.
Yes.
He's fine with this.
He is. Once the neighbor sees him, he freaks out just a little bit and he kind of goes parkouring, naked parkour.
Because they've got one of those big 2-story American houses, of course. Yeah, he just basically wire work parkours up the side of the building.
All naked and stuff.
Showing oh, look, he shouldn't be that agile. He shouldn't be that nimble.
He's
a
not.
nerd.
He was a stuntman.
He reads comics. He can't agilely nerd up that. Anyway, lost myself.
No. Ellie's in the kitchen. She's watching a news report about a car accident.
About her car crash that she never went to hospital for and no one cared about.
No one interviewed her on the news either, so there's that. There's a fly kind of buzzing around in the morning, and that's super annoying.
If we've learned anything from the movie The Fly, what happens when you start to change? You get superhuman reflexes. She catches the fly out of the air.
Yep.
But she did it with looking, where other people can do it without.
Whoosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. She kind of realizes what she's done. She's like, "Ew, gross," and lets it go.
Yeah.
That's fine.
She should have done it with chopsticks. She's trying to impress me.
That's right. Jimmy comes sauntering in and he's like, I just woke up in the bushes this morning. And then he starts going off onto his werewolf spiel again.
His werewolf theory. He's like, Ellie, I think we're werewolves. And she's just like, for sure.
For sure. Meanwhile, he's opened the fridge. He's pulled out a thing of meat. It's cut up turkey or something. And he's just salting it and eating it while he's talking, devouring it. And then she's
I do that anyway. They didn't seem weird to me.
No, that's just a normal thing.
He's eating deli ham slices. And I'm like, yeah, that's not weird.
Who does?
I know what you're trying to do here, but I would eat ham as soon as I open the fridge if I saw it.
Damn right.
Ellie starts eating some as well. And she goes to work. Mm-hmm. Where does she work? Nobody knows.
She's on the set. So it's a late show
she's like a David
with
Letterman.
some guy, but it's not David Letterman.
Yeah, it's the late show with insert some dickhead's name.
Correct.
And she's she's something. She's the main person.
Yeah, she's pretty high up, but also we get the sense that she's actually just a bit of a summer flower. She's very quiet. She keeps to herself. She's a bit of a pushover. So we get that bit of a sense from her
People
Very.
keep commenting on how pretty she looks now.
Yeah, people are
And
looking
she's
at
sassy. Oh, you look good today. And I'm like,
That's right.
She runs into her publicist.
She runs into Rosenbaum, who is like in all of the teen films.
That's the boss. He's the big boss, isn't he?
I don't even think he's the big boss. He's just there. I think he's just
so
another co-worker.
A colleague she runs into this man. I got the thing that he was like, I think she's the producer of the show.
Yeah, I think so.
And he's just the guy who's in charge of the business of the show.
Yeah.
I think he's higher than her.
Yeah, quite possibly.
It doesn't matter. They have an exchange. He says she looks pretty and that maybe she should come to work more often looking pretty. And I'm like,
That's what every
great.
woman wants to hear from a man. Thank you.
Yeah, she runs into the publicist, which is a blonde. She's like a thin blonde lady played by
Judy Green.
Who
I love.
She's a bitch of a
Oh,
publicist.
she just comes in and she starts throwing shade. She's just like, oh, you look different. Maybe you should,
try and
be
look good
looking
more
like
often.
That.
Yeah,
She's just a whole bitch about it. But she's talking about her trying to get someone on this talk show. She's like, oh, you need to come to this event because he will be here and you will talk to him and you will get him on the show.
Yeah. At first I thought, I didn't know who she was.
She's just doing the job of a publicist. So
then she starts mentioning like how Ellie's going out with Pacey Jake.
Mm.
And she's like, ooh, he's a womanizer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're just a long line of babes that he's banged. And I'm like, ugh, bit of a hardball line there. So obviously she's a bitch.
I'm like, are you a jealous lady by any chance?
Yeah, that's the end of that scene. So it's just a show. It just introduced two other characters.
Mm-hmm.
So the boss man, I'm going to call him boss man, and the publicist woman who's a dickhead. Ellie goes to her office, and the boss man comes in.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, can I get you some work? She's like, I can smell some really nice food.
Yeah, something.
Where's that food coming from?
Something smells good.
So she starts following her nose, literally.
Yeah, she's literally walking around the office like...
Sniffing people?
Yeah, sniffing things. It's weird. No, and she walks into, I think, the kitchen area and finds a girl with a nosebleed.
She's having a nosebleed and she's all like...
She's pretty much like, this is...
the smelliest blood ever.
Yep, this is good.
And that's it, really.
That is it, yeah.
We get it.
You've got some pheromones going.
Yeah, people think you're good looking now.
And you like the smell of blood.
And we cut to Jimmy at the school. He's at school now, high school. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Sorry. She's trying to stick money in a Coke machine and it's not having a bar of it, and he offers her some change.
Oh, this is the girl from the start of the movie, by the way.
Yeah, this is the girl from the
So he
music.
meets the girl that he got gay bashed away from. So he's persistent.
Yes, he is.
She kind of like the whole time she's like being nice to him and like doesn't like the boyfriend, being mean to him and all that. And I'm like, this is like the nerd's wet dream that the hot girl from school would actually like him over the jock she's dating.
Yep.
And that's just happening. Mm-hmm. And she's just like, I'm going to put my hair behind my ear. And like, you really know how to use a vending machine. That turns me on.
Yeah. Oh.
You can get me food. Actually, that would work with a girl.
It is. I can attest to that.
And once again, her boyfriend and his goons rock up.
Yep.
He's got goons as well. He's got two goons.
Yeah. Of course you do.
Unnamed goons.
No.
Unlined goons. They have no dialogue, I don't think.
Goon 1 and Goon 2.
Goons.
Hired goons. They come up, they steal his books, and once again start throwing about some homophobic remarks, and Jimmy confronts
A
him.
barrage of gay bashing jokes, right? And then, Jimmy won't have... He sticks up for himself a little bit. And the girl's just like, ooh, I got insta-moist over that. Yeah, standing up to my boyfriend, it makes me like him.
She likes that a little bit. But he's like, what are you doing? Standing up to me? He's like, yes. It's like, oh, well, do you want to wrestle? He's like, well, you were like, why would you want to wrestle me if you're not being a little bit gay now, kind of?
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
You know?
He's just like, why don't you try it for the wrestling team? You'd love to be like men are up against you and all this shit like that. And he goes, you're the coach of the...
He's like,
the captain.
You're the captain and have been for the last 3 years. I feel that you're a little bit gay.
Yeah, and so he, bam, suck it, mate. Now, I'm doing gay bashes against you. And the girl's like, I'm moist over that. I love a good, like, reverse gay bashing. Anyhow.
Damn. Yeah. Cut to
And
a
then
Hollywood.
the boyfriend and the goons just walk off.
Yeah.
Which in my opinion, the goon, the boyfriend, that was enough for him to push him around. I thought, because he lost, but he's just like, I lost.
Yeah.
I'm leaving with the girl, and the goons are like.
But if this was any other situation, he probably would have just punched him in the face.
I must admit though, the goons and Jimmy's like their storyline is the only thing I found interesting in the whole film.
That's fair.
Like, as bad as it is, like the best parts were just like when you're just like, oh, how is he gonna beat this guy? You know what I mean? Like, and, oh look, he's getting powers.
Yeah.
When's he gonna unleash? And
Yes.
yeah. And now cut to a party.
Yeah. Very 90s style rap playing on the jukebox. It's
Neon
really
lights.
great.
Is this a party for something?
Yeah. So Ellie's now at this party. She finds Judy Greer.
This is the party they were talking about. They're going to go to. Yeah.
So it's an endangered species party. So it's like a dress up party. So everyone's kind of dressed up like an endangered species.
Yeah.
And
Apparently, Ellie didn't get the memo.
no, she didn't. Why would she? Jake also arrives, and you know he's there, and it's time for a bit of a private chat amongst friends.
Yeah.
And then he wanks on about, you know, being a jerk in the past, and he's now a changed man. And, you know, he's kind of trying to, like, lead her into, like, you know, I might have been a bit of a dick to you the other night, but look, let me just reassure you, I'm not a dick. I like you. I'm in this for the long haul. As he's saying that, Jenny, who is the other girl from the beginning of the film, getting her palm read.
Is that the one that got lost?
Yeah, it's the one
Yeah,
that...
Jenny! The one that's in the ocean.
Yes. She was the one that, you know, had the boy that was interested in her and then stopped calling, and she wanted a little bit of no. Spoiler alert, it was Jake. He fucked her and just didn't want to call her back.
So he's got a reputation of being a womanizer, or a guy that sleeps with a girl and then flicks her away like a used Kleenex.
Yes.
But he's like, all of a sudden though, Jake is convinced that something's wrong with their relationship, if you notice. Like,
yeah.
So there's that happens, and like these girls are so badly acted. Like they come in and they just like not slut. That's a bad word. That's shit. They're all over this.
They fawn over him.
They're all over this Jake guy, and it's got all of their actions are just there to annoy Ellie. They all look at her, hey baby, what are you doing? And they look at her, and she's supposed to react. I'm like,
yeah.
Like,
so Jenny's come up, and she's in this leopard print dress. It's very small and tight, and she's got little cat ears. She's popped up with Judy Greer, and they're now like, I'm gonna say that they're ovary blocking Ellie. I don't know.
yeah.
And Jenny starts talking about, she's like, oh, my friend Becky, who was the girl that died in the car accident. She's like, oh, she was really into you. Like, why don't you call her? And he's like, I'm not interested. And she's like, but I'm now available. And she kind of trying to like...
And even the publicist tries to like get with their boyfriend instantly.
Yeah.
Like all in front of it. Like she's standing there. She is talking to her like they're talking to each other like a foot away. And all these girls come and try and get with him in front of her, knowing that I'm just like, oh man, how
well,
terrible.
When you find a catch like Pacey, it's every woman for herself.
Oh, those cheeks. Those chubby cheeks.
Sure.
Anyhow, they walk off. Like she storms off or something.
She leaves. She's got shit to do. She's here on business. So she starts having a meeting with Scott Baio.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like giving him the talk up, like, oh, I loved you and Journey Loves Chachi and all the other things that you were in that I probably don't know about because I'm too young. And, you know, she's giving him the spiel. She's trying to get him on this talk show that she works for. And she's explaining like, oh, you know, you'll be the main guest kind of thing. So, and he's like, yeah, this is cool. As they're talking, she notices the full moon.
Uh-oh.
Oh, the full moon. And starts kind of starts flashing some skin. She kind of like brushes away her hair, kind of like readjusts.
Yeah, opens her top a bit, shows a bit of cleavage. She's getting like, she's getting all horny because the moon's out.
That's right.
And then the man takes this as he's like, looks at her and he's like, oh, she must be hitting on me. Maybe I can get some sexy time out of her. He hits on her, and she's like, no. I'm like,
Yep. And then
What's going on?
because she looks over straight away and notices there is now a horde of women over at Jake, and she's just like, yeah, I'm done here, and she leaves.
She sees Jake flirting with all the ladies.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not really flirting. He's just there, and they're all just like, if anything, this should be like, you should be happy. And you're like, look how loved my boyfriend is. Like, sucked in, ladies. I've got him.
Yeah.
You don't like that?
No, I mean that is literally what should happen. You should be able to look over at your boyfriend and see that there are all these women around and be like, "Oh yeah, ladies love my boyfriend."
Yeah. Ladies love my boyfriend. I love him.
No women think like that because it's like, what's he going to do with those girls if
So they don't trust their boyfriends.
No one. Yeah.
Anyhow, Jake, he kind of bails. He comes up to her. She says, I think I need a break for a couple of days now. And he's like, roles reverse. He's just suddenly like, but I need you.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. So a second ago, he was like, there's something wrong with our relationship. Now she's like, and he's like, no, I need you more than anything. And I'm like, what do you think?
Yeah. What do you want? Yeah. No, he's a... Oh my God.
She storms. She's just like, I'm not having a bar of this. I'm angry at you for some reason. I am Angor. The script says I'm supposed to be angry here, so I am angry.
I'm angry.
She storms off and walks to her car,
Yep.
which is in an underground car park under the building, we can assume.
Yeah. So something you can sort of see as she's getting into her car, that something's sniffing at her. Something's watching her.
We get like a PO kind of shot, point of view shot from something.
But that's okay because nothing happens and she drives off listening to her new metal music in the car. And once she's gone, the elevator dings and Jenny walks out into the car park.
He's the flirty girl from before that was dressed as that's been in the whole film.
As like a cheetah.
Cheetah.
She notices an oil/blood patch on the ground, which has some footprints. So footprints leading into paw prints.
Oh, and they're changing.
As she notices that, bam! Werewolf attack.
Suddenly a werewolf throws her over a car. Did you notice this werewolf throws people a lot instead of attacking them?
It really does. If I was a werewolf, I'd just start biting.
Well, it started by biting the person instantly and dragging them into the woods. And then from then on, it just starts punching and throwing people.
Do you really feel that like a werewolf has a conscious like, okay, I don't want to bite this person because I don't want this werewolf competition in my life. So I'm just going to like throw you about and play with you like a toy before, like what cats do with mice.
Maybe, but
Maybe.
werewolves do wear jorts.
They really do.
They understand that jorts are cool. So I'm sure they could do this.
And that's also giving this film way more credit than it deserves. So she's thrown into a car. She rolls off. The poor girl who played her actually sprained her knee during this time as well because she was not wearing any kind of knee pads or anything. So she just fucking hurt herself.
In my notes, instead of wolf, my auto thing has done it to whales.
I would watch that film.
Whale.
Yep.
And now she's like thrown onto the ground. She's looking under the car and we can see the wolf's feet. Mm-hmm. And oh my God, it's all CG. It's a CG mess.
Yep.
The feet, and I'm like, here we go. Mm-hmm. So there's this sleek, slender kind of like, what are they called? Like dog legs, like kind of thing. You know, the backward legs walking thing.
Yep.
She hides under the car.
She kind of like pulls out the car bleepy thing. And
she
sets off her alarm.
Makes the wolf, look around the other way, which no one would have thought to do.
No.
The wolf looks under the car. There's no one there, and she's crunched up, hiding in this thing. And somehow this girl can anticipate exactly where a werewolf is going to look. Yeah. So knowing it for some reason he's going to look under the car, she's up off the ground, hiding and all this shit. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
They never made her into a genius to this point. If anything, they made her into a dumb character.
And at some point, the werewolf starts just scratching cars, and I'm like, dude, be a little bit more respectful.
Yeah, it's making a scratchy sound. Then we get these really close-up shots of the wolf's face, which is a practical effect, which I was like, oh, that's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So real close-up shots as well, into its nose and
eyes and stuff. That does look cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and then.
So she distracts it. I apologize. She distracts it by setting off the car alarm. And as it turns, she makes a fucking break back to the elevator. The best thing is,
so she sets her car alarm off, which makes the werewolf, go it's loud. And
she's
it's over there. But the werewolf instantly runs over to the car, pulls up the bonnet, pulls an alarm out,
And
the
just
alarm system out. I'm
throws
like,
it.
well, number one, alarm systems, the sound doesn't come out of the alarm system. So this wolf knows how alarms work. I don't even know how alarms work, and I'm not a wolf
Yeah, no idea.
that
No
runs
idea.
on pure instinct.
So yeah, she's made a run for it and jumps into the elevator, and it jams.
Yeah.
Of course, it jams, leaving a very small opening for it to, of course, try and jump through and attack. Obviously, it's too small. Its like arms are kind of in, its face is kind of in. It's trying to get at her, and it's just not working.
He's like smashing up the elevator and shit. And he goes away.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm off.
I'm done. I'm bored with this.
But then like, so yeah, the elevator's half open. It's got halfway down, like whatever, between two floors. It opened a bit. The wolf smashed in there, couldn't get in there. He goes away, and then she looks out, she decides to run, and she just easily opens the
Yeah.
elevator door.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
just-
why does the wolf... Like,
Are you stronger than a wolf?
exactly. And then all of a sudden, bam, the wolf attacks her, and end of scene. So I'm
It's,
just like,
such an off-screen death.
oh, this film is an off-screen death. This whole film is that. And we cut to Jimmy, and he's reading on the couch about werewolves.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, he finds the shittest thing.
Oh my god, yes. Now, if anyone knows anything about werewolf lore,
Is this made up?
well, it was used in the original Wolfman film. So they talk about
okay.
the mark of the beast. So in the book on the hand, there's like a few dots, and if the dots are, if you join
them up and draw a circle around it, it creates a pentagram a la Idle Hands.
That's right.
And it makes about as much sense as it did in Idle Hands as well. Like, so now people who are a werewolf have 5 dots in their hands that if you want, you can draw a pentagram.
Yeah,
Around.
that's exactly what you should do.
And he looks at his hand, of course.
And he sees some little dots.
Little dots coming up, and he draws it onto his own hand very badly as well.
Yeah.
Like, the lines were very bad. And I was just like, yeah, get fucked. That's the shit.
Ellie comes home, and he kind of hides it from her, and he talks about how you can kill a werewolf. So he's back on his werewolf bullshit again. And like, he loves this idea. He's kind of growing to love the idea of being a werewolf, having this power, having all this, like, you know, because he is just this.
He's the undertrodden kid, and he likes the idea of getting a leg up on a certain bully.
Yeah, this is essentially Peter Parker with his little bit of venom in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, he goes on about the pentagram. He holds up Ellie's hand. Lo and behold, she has the dots as well.
Convenient.
And then she's like, out of nowhere, as a retort, she brings up their dead parents.
Yeah.
And I don't know why she mentioned them.
Well, so there is a photo on the bureau, and she's like, okay, so this photo of all of us together is in a sterling silver frame. I bought this frame at Tiffany's. This is silver. If I pick this up and my hand burns, you know we're a werewolf. And so she picks up the frame.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens. Nothing happens.
End of scene, basically.
Done.
Then we cut to Jimmy. He's in his room reading werewolf comics now. Not only does he just have them sprawled out, now he can actually read them.
Yeah, he's reading Wolf Squad.
Wolf Squad. Why not? And then all of a sudden, dogs are barking at him.
Yeah, so all of the neighborhood dogs are starting to rock up outside of the house, and they're barking.
He's like, shut up, dog.
He's like, you just doggo. His hand starts burning, and he looks out the window, and he's looking at all the dogs in the neighborhood that have gathered, and they're just barking. They're barking and barking and barking.
Ooh.
And then he stands there, and he's just like, just stop. Why won't you? And he's like, oh, okay. And then he lets out his own little, woo, and lo and behold,
The dogs bail.
you know, he's alphaed them with his wooing.
With his stunning dog voice.
And they just immediately stop barking.
And they're
and
like,
all
we can't
disperse.
compete with that diva.
They're like,
The dogs just let bail.
They're like, nah, we're Christian bailing out of this.
And that's it.
That's it.
And then
Next
we
day.
cut to Ellie. She's getting ready for work. And she's all sassy.
She's primping in the mirror. She's fixing the
She's
hair.
juzzing.
Well, no, she's primping. Jimmy comes in.
And
He's zhuzhing.
And all of a sudden, Jimmy has a better haircut.
He
He's
does.
going all Spider-Man 3.
He really is.
He needs a jazz club.
So his hair has now been like straightened and kind of flattened a bit, but you can really see.
And then hair gel.
You can see the crusty gel.
Wax.
You can see it all.
You can see the wax, and he's going through a transformation of good haircut.
Yep, he's like wearing a.
That's
a
another
dark
thing when you're
sweater.
young. You always want the cool. When you're a teenager, you always want the coolest haircut, and he's getting it.
He is.
Yeah, he's sassy as well.
Yep. You know, there's a transformation. They're both kind of digging it. They're sexy now. I mean, she's always been sexy. He will never be sexy.
No, but they tried to make a point at the start of the film that she wasn't sexy and she was all hard-edged businesswoman, and now she's like letting her hair down.
That's right. Literally letting her hair down.
Yeah, that's what she did.
Yep.
It's like, you know, glasses painted
the
overalls and ponytail girl.
So Ellie walks into work. Heads are turning as she does. Like, all the guys are like, hey.
They're like, hey, you know.
It's like, we've worked together for 10 years, but now I can notice you.
Now I can sexual harass you because you're worth it.
That's right.
And then she has waiting for her, they're going to do a segment on psychics. And lo and behold, the psychic from the start of the film is in the pack of psychics.
That's right. And she kind of walks up and she, like, pulls her aside and she's just like, you know,
this is a psychic to Ellie.
Yeah, she kind of pulls off her, like, dreadlock wig as well.
Yeah, she's got white rusted dreads and they're just a wig. And she's like, this is all show. But I am really, I've got some power brought down by my parents. And you've got the mark of the beast on your hand.
That's right. She's like, you're cursed. You need to sever the lines. You're in danger. She goes on this, like, another doomsayer kind of like.
And then this is at the point of the film. She says, like, remember that the beast is human too. And then I suddenly realized, I hadn't to this point realized, it's a guess who the wolf is movie. And that's when I thought, this is basically just Scream.
Yes.
And at this point in my notes, I've written in capital letters, if the werewolf is Jake or the publicist, that's stupid. And that's what I wrote at this point.
Yep.
Because I just did this thing. I went, okay, so if it's like Scream, you have to think it can only be the characters that have speaking lines.
Yes.
That, you know what I mean? And then I went, okay, so, and it's never gonna be the most obvious one.
Correct.
But then again, in Scream, they made it the obvious one. They had spent the whole film going, it's this person, and then did a thing to prove that it wasn't him, and then it was him. And I'm like, well, if they do that with Pacey Jake, that's stupid.
Yep.
And then I'm like, and the other person in the film that we've made you hate that has like no relevance to the story is the publicist.
Yep.
They're my two reasons of why I went. Anyhow, let's move on. When I've had my little bit.
I like it. Yep. So we cut to school. Wrestling
Class at school.
Jimmy once again swaggers in. He kind of looks around.
We can see the girl, the girlfriend, who had a name that is said at the very end of the film.
I think it's Brooke.
Brooke or something.
I don't know.
Anyhow, the girlfriend.
Yep.
The boyfriend's girlfriend, that's what I call it.
Yep.
She's watching her boyfriend wrestle. The whole wrestling team's out. She's in the bleachers with her lady friends. And Jimmy saunters in.
He does. And he's on like the second floor. So he's on like he thinks his shit don't stink. He's on a balcony and he kind of like does this look around and he just jumps right over the balcony.
Yeah, well styles.
Yeah, and just like lands.
It lands with no noise.
No noise. He's fine.
He's a werecat.
Yeah.
And he looks up to her and he like stands there and she's just like, oh, hey, Jimmy. And he goes, oh, Brooke or whatever your name is. I didn't see you there.
Yeah. Fuck you with your,
You knew.
Now
You've got a
acting
timetable tattooed on your dick, mate. Like, you know where it is.
Here's the thing. You're kind of into this girl and you want to start being a dickhead to her. That's going to get you nowhere.
Well, that means as well that he was, to her, he was just there to watch the wrestling.
Yes.
Anyhow,
so
boyfriend.
Bo walks up.
Boyfriend. He's like, hey, it's the dickhead again. Are you here to gay try out for my gay sport that I'm the gay captain of?
He's like, actually, now that you mention it, yes.
Maybe I will. And this is the bit I was like, cool. This will be something at least kind of interesting.
Yeah. So he's just like, hey, coach, Jimmy wants to try out for the team.
And they're like, Jimmy wants to try out for the team?
It's like, are you sure about this, Jimmy? It's like, AKA, you're a little dweeb. You can't do shit.
Jimmy has to wrestle one of the goons.
Yeah, the coach doesn't want him wrestling Bo. He feels that there's like...
Star player, mate. Like, he's just like, he's too good. Mm-hmm, and Jimmy goes into the ring with one of these goons.
Yes.
And Jimmy's losing.
Yes.
He starts getting wrestled and slammed on the floor. The boyfriend's like, "Shaw, we're wrestlers.
That's right.
You think you can come in here and wrestle?" And it's just like, we get to the point that Jimmy's like just testing the waters. Like, can I get hurt? So he kind of like, I'm not even getting hurt.
Yeah.
I can do this. I'm going to have a go. And yeah, he beats one of the goons at wrestling with some flip wrestle moves.
Some of them are pretty good.
Yeah, they're real wrestle moves though.
Yeah.
There's no like wire work yet. And then like the boyfriend is like, "Ha, you can't win. Coach, let me fight him.
Tag me in, coach.
Tag me in, coach." And now Jimmy now is facing the boyfriend. And then you know what happens? 90s new metal music cuts in.
Of course.
Dun, 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 dun. And I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
This is the best part in the entire film.
I do love me some new metal.
Like, I mean, I don't like new metal. I don't listen to it recreationally, but when it's put into a stupid film, into a stupid scene, I was like, cool.
Well, that's pretty much every soundtrack from the start of 2000 until maybe around 2008. All new metal.
Yeah. Anyhow, Jimmy does flips over him, you know, doing moves that he can't do. And then basically, like, is it like a solar suplexes him? Like, where he holds him up on his head and falls back and slams him down. And he beats boyfriend Bo. And it's just like, there's not really enough. There should be another scene after this where they can't believe it or something. It's just not that much. It's kind of the coach is like, "Whoa," and the girlfriend going, "I'm moist again."
There should have been like a scene afterwards where Jimmy's like, where Bo is on a stretcher, not like necessarily an ambulance thing, but they should
like,
probably
get out of here.
Yeah.
And it just kind of cuts. You kind of don't get your.
It's not really satisfying.
Yeah, you don't get your birthday cake at the end. No cake.
Cake
birthday.
Well, this is because at no point do I feel sympathetic for Jimmy's character at all. So I'm just like, because usually at the end of that you'd be like, yeah, Jimmy, he did it. The werewolf in him. He's cool now. I'm just like, this guy's a dick.
Yeah. So then we cut to Ellie at a TV job.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then, so she's getting ready, kind of like the David Letterman man.
Yeah.
He's about to go on stage and talk to some people. He's getting ready. For some reason, as whatever she is, the producer, she's zhuzzing him up. She's like straightening his tie and all this shit.
He starts talking about how they bumped Bayo. They bumped Scott Baio because he thought that Carrot Top was hilarious, so he was going to give him an extra spot.
Carrot Top, remember him?
Oh my God. Have you seen what he looks like now?
Probably,
It's terrifying.
Potato Top?
No. He got like really buff.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, he went.
It's terrifying. No, don't like it. So she's like, oh no, like, why'd you bump Bayo? She's a little bit stressed because she knows what's going to come next once the Bayo's been bumped. But he cuts himself somehow. Like, I can't remember how he cuts himself. But he cuts himself.
Yeah, he's just about to go on stage. He can't go on TV with a bleeding finger.
Someone get me a Band-Aid. Like, what's going on? Like, now.
It's like 4 seconds, you're on. And then she's like, quick decision. I love blood, so I'll suck your finger. I'll suck the blood out.
No.
Shouldn't theoretically, if he turned into a werewolf now?
Yes.
Because, like, her saliva's going into his wound.
Yes.
So they just forgot that bit.
Yep. Okay. I didn't even think of that. Fuck. Okay. So
you didn't even think of that.
I didn't even think about that.
He's the werewolf now. No.
Yeah, because at one point, we'll get to that in a second or soonish. So Ellie leaves the stage.
She goes out backstage. She's like, I can't believe I sucked that finger.
Yeah, right.
In the true Hollywood style.
And Judy Greer comes running out.
Who is the publicist?
She's bitching about the Bayo bump. So I'm under the impression that she is Scott Baio's publicist, maybe?
Yes,
because she's really invested in this.
Yeah, so she must be his publicist, like booking him shows. And he's been bumped now, and she's like, what the fuck?
And she's going off. She's just like, what the fuck? Like, this is not okay. Like, you are like the worst person. And Ellie just turns around and she fucking cracks back. She's never cracked back. She's cracking back.
All she just says was, don't hassle me.
Yeah, right. She's like, I'm going to my room.
The publicist is like,
She's just like, oh.
Oh, dear.
Nobody's ever talked to me like that.
Upsets Ellie.
It does.
So she goes to the bathroom and locks herself into a cubicle and just is upset and stressed out and hyperventilating.
As you do.
Someone comes into the bathroom. It's the Asian girl who had the blood nose before, actually.
Yeah.
See, she's got a blood nose. I mean, she's just there. And she's like, "Are you okay, Ellie?"
Yeah.
Because you can hear she's in there and upset.
Yeah.
And she's like,
I'm fine. It's okay. Like, go away, please.
I don't know why Ellie just didn't lock the cubicle if she didn't want to be hassled. But anyhow, the lady opens the cubicle to see, are you sure you're okay? Anyhow, she grabs the door and she grabs, from the inside and she's holding the door so tight her fingers are bleeding and she dents into the metal.
She got some strength behind her.
She got power anger. She has girl power anger.
Oh, that's a powerful anger.
And then... So she doesn't take that as a cue, this lady. She still tries to open up, and then she sees Ellie. Ellie's in there, and we see for a second that she's got the old reptilian shapeshifter eyes, the third eyelid thing, like that Bush had or whoever it was in the conspiracy theorists.
Yes.
And I'm like, you're not really a wolf thing at all.
No.
Anyhow, the lady runs out of the toilet. She's like, oh, fuck that shit. I'm dealing with reptilian shapeshifters.
Yep. Oh, dear.
That's all right.
Yep. So then we cut from that to Jake putting up a hall of mirrors. Jimmy approaches him, so he just needs someone to talk to. Obviously, Dad's not around. He needs to talk to a boy about boy things. And once again, he lays out his werewolf spiel. Jake kind of, he's standing there, and as he's listening, he's looking, hella suspicious about it all.
Because we're led to believe that he is the bad boyfriend killer werewolf.
Mm-hmm. And he's just like, look, I think you need to
and everyone who sleeps with him seems to die.
Mm-hmm. He's like, I think you need to get your sister, and the three of us can sit down and have a bit of a chat about all this.
Have a bit of a woo about it.
I don't really recall
Jimmy
anything.
has a spazzy attack.
Yeah.
And storms out in an angsty teenage rage, and I'm like, yeah, because that works.
Yeah, that's what
It's
you
like,
do.
You're not gonna help me either. I hate you.
Nobody can help me. Nobody. So we now are it's nighttime. There is a full moon happening.
Why not?
Jimmy goes
There's
to
a full
fridge.
moon every night for some reason in this town.
That's right.
There was one the night before. I'm pretty sure that's not how full moons work. Isn't it a cycle of a moon?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
So Jimmy goes to the fridge and he pulls out a raw steak. And as he grabs it and he goes to bite into it, you can just see the doggo in the corner, and it's kind of like...
Hungry.
It's a little bit freaking out. It's a little bit scared of him, but it definitely wants some of that steak. So he goes to cut the steak in half, and he opens the drawer to pull out something, and he's like, "Oh, I'm just going to pick up this silver serving spoon."
Yeah, no. It's not a spoon. It's like a platter, a cake server.
Yeah.
Silver, for no reason, because that's not what you cut steaks with.
No, I've never cut a steak with that.
I think he just grabbed it because he knows it's silver, and
Yeah.
he's just like, I'll just see, and all of a sudden,
Oh,
it burns
it
his
burns.
hand, and he's like, oh, cake. How am I ever going to eat cake
Never
again?
eat cake again. He drops it, and there's a knock at the door. So he walks off, and he's like, just scrunching his hand a bit. It's Bo.
It's Bo, the wrestling boyfriend.
Bo.
I've called him wrestling boyfriend from now on.
That's fine. And I'm like, oh, is he going to try and beat him up? No, he does exactly what we think he was going to do. And he basically says, how'd you know, man? He's like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm gay.
He comes out the closet to Jimmy.
Oh, my God.
And then as all heterosexual men think he acts, every gay man has to be with another, the man that...
Yeah. So
you can only be with the man who outed you.
Oh, my God.
Anyhow,
he tries to kiss Jimmy, and, because he's thinking Jimmy's, also gay. And Jimmy's like, oh, I'm not gay. I'm not, dude, no.
You can be gay.
He's like, not that there's anything wrong with that. He's like, no.
He Seinfelds
He's like,
it.
I'm a werewolf. So I've got some sexy allure going on.
He just says that.
You think you
and I'm
like
like,
me.
I've written in my notes, is this scene supposed to be funny because he is gay? Is that supposed to be the humor part of it? And look, that gay man's trying to kiss that straight man. That's funny.
Yeah, because, Bo obviously, I think, possibly does truly think that he is gay for some reason.
Well, he's gay.
Well, no, but he thinks Jimmy's gay.
Yeah.
So he's got like, but now that
The
Jimmy
worst
has
gator?
this, yeah, right. He's got this allure about him, the pheromones. He's like, you're gay.
Yeah, I suppose that they
I'm
did
gay.
relate to that. They did say that actually.
Yeah.
In its defense, he's like, no, it's just the pheromones
just-
I'm
yeah.
putting out. You can't handle my sex dick.
No.
Yeah.
And he kind of just has to reassure him. He's like, dude, I'm not gay. Like, I'm not going to tell anyone that you're gay. There's nothing wrong with it. But you know,
Good luck with being gay.
like,
he
yeah,
says.
go gay. But and then
it's basically like, see,
he turns around and shuts the door on him.
he's got bigger things to worry about, like silver platters can't be picked up, and how am I going to eat my cake?
So as he's shut the door, he notices that the silver picture frame that Ellie had previously picked up is sitting there. And he walks over and he picks it up.
And
nothing happens.
And he's like, he's got a big sticker on the back that just says, "Not silver."
It's like
stainless
sterling silver.
werewolf proof.
Because she made a big deal about buying that from Tiffany's, so that thing would have cost a lot of money as well. So
Maybe
She's been duped.
And then he's like, she lied to me. Like, maybe she didn't know.
no. Well, why would she know? Because she like, I bought this from Tiffany's.
If
It's silver.
If I pick something up, I don't feel it with my finger feel and go, that feels like silver. I don't
yeah.
know what silver is.
Oh, that's a nice plastic resin.
Yeah.
Sure.
And yeah, it's not silver. He gets, so this gives him more anger towards his sister for some reason. I'm like, yeah. Anyhow, we see the dog has stolen his steak.
Yeah, I would have.
In a typical dog fashion.
That's
I'm surprised that dog isn't running down the street now with a string of sausages that it got from a butcher.
Yep. No, that's the next scene.
Yeah, my
that
favourite.
was a cut scene.
Dude, a dog running down the street with a string of sausages is one of my most favourite things in the world. It's that, and my second favourite thing in the world is when a cat gets stuck to someone's face in a film.
Yes, I love that. So, you know, Zipper's like, he's hiding under the table and he's like chewing on the steak. And Jimmy's like, oh, you naughty dog. Like,
Give me my steak back
and he's
now.
just like grabbing the dog's tail and he's like, come here. And I was like, part of me was expecting him to do like a grab the dog by the tail and like swing him around the room and stuff
Do
like
like an idle hand to the cat?
Very much so. That doesn't happen, of course. So what happens is
Zipper transforms into CG Superdog.
Yeah, he's a were-dog now.
See, I didn't know this whole thing. He has just gone full CG, the dog now. It looks kind of shit. And I didn't know at any point, like, was the dog just angry and they're using CG, or did he look different? Like, I couldn't tell because it's just a bad effect. I just thought, oh, mate, is it just that they CG the dog and they haven't got it to look right?
No, the dog is a werewolf.
Yeah, but at this point, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was just like, I think it's just a bad CG and they've just tried to make him look angry because the dog, you know what I mean?
It looks like Scrappy-Doo.
Yeah,
But like Scrappy-Doo when he takes the serum and he's all like, I'm a Scrappy-Doo, I'm going to fight you.
puppy power.
That's right. So
Anyhow,
they actually do start fighting. And Bo knocks on the door and they both run out together. They get in the car and just as they
but you kind of Bo knocks on the door. He runs out and he's like, "What's wrong with your dog?" And he's like, "We got to get out of here." And he kind of locked the dog in the house. But then they all of a sudden they've become this werewolf fighting trio. They run to Bo's car together and they get in, and now they're a team.
Yeah.
And now Bo is the main character.
Yeah, and he's a good guy.
I reckon Bo should have been the main character of this film, that actor. It would have been heaps more interesting. And he was a good actor.
I love him. He's the best of the Gilmore Girl boyfriends.
How many Gilmore Girls are there?
Well, there's 2.
That's not enough for to say girls. There should have been at least 3.
It's a show. Well, there's the mother.
And a daughter.
And there's a mother, the grandmother, and the daughter.
There's 3.
That's 3 Gilmore. That's still plural. It works. Anyway, Zipper goes chasing after them, barrels right into the car and like dents the side of the car in real well. And they drive off. So
he's like, "What's wrong with your dog?" And he goes, "Oh, he's a were-dog because he bit my finger earlier on in the film." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, so that means that guy at their work is."
Oh fuck! I didn't even pick. I feel so bad for not picking up on that.
Maybe that was setting up for the sequel that never happened.
The werewolf talk show. I would also watch that.
Well, for this film took 7 years. I had to probably wait 14 years for the next film, which has it been 14 years yet?
Well, the Weinstein Company aren't really. Well, the Weinsteins don't have a lot to say at the moment. Anyway, so that's fine.
I like that. How matter of fact, like Jimmy's just talking to Bo about this. He's a were-dog now, and I'm a werewolf. And Bo, I don't know. Did Bo believe him?
I think he's just
coming along for the dick.
He's like, well, there could be some dick
I need
at
that
the end.
Eisenberg fucking
Yuck.
Need a bit.
So they're barreling through. They're driving through Laurel Canyon because it's always Laurel Canyon when you're in Hollywood. The phones don't work.
Mulholland Drive?
Oh, sorry. Yes, Mulholland Drive. It is Mulholland Drive. I apologize. Yeah, the phones aren't working. But he's like, oh, look, we've got to go. I can't get through to my sister. We've got to go to Tinsel. It's the grand opening tonight. She's going to be there. Let's go. So they Tokyo Drift. They're going back towards Tinsel. So as Ellie is leaving, she sees a news report on the TV because we're in this hugely dark
she's at work
office.
now.
Yeah, she's at work. Everything's shut off except for this one TV that's playing the news in the background.
Yeah, the exact thing she needs to see. Every time she just watches TV, it's the exact thing she needs to see to forward the storyline.
So there is a report. Jenny and Becky, both of the girls that we saw at the beginning of the film, they are both dead. And that's the end of that. She
they
leaves.
were both with her boyfriend at some stage or some shit. Were they both or one?
Well,
doesn't matter.
Yeah, who cares? Nobody cares. So Jake approaches her as she tries to get into her car, and he's like, once again, we need to talk. She's like, nah, fam, don't really want to talk to you. Closes the door, and he smacks his hand on the window. He's like, please stop. And you see what is on his hand? The mark of the fucking beast.
Pentagram, and he had drawn he had drawn the lines between it and the circle himself, and you see he tried to wash it off, and I'm like,
he's like, this ain't kill. Oh god,
why don't I use a permanent texter?
And then he smashes the window open, basically reaches over her, turns off the car, grabs the keys, and he's like, get out of the car.
So they've already done their reveal, and I was like, ugh, how boring.
Yeah. So he starts his werewolf talk now. So he talks about how he was born with this, like he was never bitten. This was just something that he was born with.
Does that mean his mum may have been a werewolf?
Quite possibly. It's usually on the mother's side, I suspect. I don't know. I know nothing about werewolves. Don't
you know about werewolf gynecology?
I don't.
Well, fuck, I thought you were an expert.
I have wasted a lot of my life. So yeah, he's talking about, he's like, I know that there is something happening with you. I know how to control this. Like I'm a fully functional.
I can teach you to control it. I'm a fully functional werewolf, like an alcoholic.
Exactly. And she's just like, look, I'll talk to you. It's like, you got to give me back my keys. And he's like, okay, like we'll continue this conversation. Grabs the keys. He keeps banging on something more about this werewolf business, and then she stabs him.
She stabs him with I thought it was a bit out of place. Like, he's trying to just say, like, I know what's wrong with you. I can help you. And she's just like, I'm going to stab you. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're your boyfriend, and also if you're seeing this guy for a few months and you've not noticed that he's got a pentagram partially drawn in his hand, you probably should pay a little bit more attention.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, there's just this moment of... She clearly doesn't trust him anymore.
So she gets upset and she's like, I got to go help Jimmy. So she drives home to Jimmy. Meanwhile, Jimmy and Bo are now driving to the party of the opening of... Was it a restaurant? No, what was it?
Nightclub or something.
The nightclub from the Jake's nightclub opening called Tinsel.
Yeah.
It's a horror-themed nightclub called Tinsel. Does that make sense?
Tinseltown? I don't know.
Doesn't matter. So they've gone in opposite directions.
Yep. Bo and Jimmy sneak into this club with such ease as well. Like, they just basically like, oh, hey, walk in. It was just that simple.
It is because the people who are working there know that he is the brother of the guy who runs the club. His girlfriend.
Yep. So, yeah, Jimmy calls up Ellie and he's like, please don't go home. Don't go home. Like, Jake is a werewolf. You got to go find this guy. So now Jimmy has to go find Rosenbaum. So it's Ellie's boss.
Why does he have to find him?
Because he's going to keep him safe. I don't know.
Oh yeah, she says find my boss.
Yeah. In
this crowd, he'll keep you safe.
Yeah. And then she
goes, I'm on my way to the party.
Yeah, and then she Tokyo fucking drifts it in the other direction and starts like rolling down.
It's because it's for family. It's all about family.
It's the family. Her. So Jake approaches Jimmy.
Yeah, Jimmy runs straight into Jake, basically.
Yep. And as that happens, Judy Greer intervenes with Scott Baio. And Bo and Jimmy take that opportunity.
She also, at this point, before when she was talking to Jimmy on the phone, she tells him that she believes him about the werewolf. Did you mention that? Yeah.
I didn't mention
that.
That
she now knows, and that Jake is the main werewolf that they have to kill before they become. And if they kill him, the main werewolf, everyone who is a werewolf
will cease to be.
Will not be a werewolf. Yep. Sure, why not? It works with it works with the common cold.
Yep. Bo and Jimmy run off. Ellie rocks up and she finds the boss man, and then bails to find Jimmy in the Hall of Mirrors.
But is this the boss man bit where we're led to believe for 1 second?
No, that's a little bit later. Yeah. Because there's that other So Bo and Jimmy are in the Hall of Mirrors.
There's a Hall of Mirrors in this nightclub, which is the worst idea to have in a nightclub. Imagine having a mirror maze in a nightclub.
Oh my God.
Drunk people and fucking people in there.
And there'd just be vomit everywhere.
Yeah, because you couldn't get out.
No.
Worst idea.
Yeah. So once again, they're all now in the Hall of Mirrors.
Jake goes into the Hall of Mirrors.
And he's having his werewolf talk, and he's like, we could be together. You can control it. There's another way. There's another werewolf here, and it's looking for me, and I don't know why, and I love you.
This is the first mention ever that there possibly could just be another werewolf, and it's just in passing conversation. You could have missed it.
Yeah, at any point.
There's someone else, and I went, and this is the point when, oh my God, it's the publicist. But no, they try and steer you away.
Yep.
At first, I thought it could be the boss.
Yes.
But I thought that he didn't have enough at this point.
He wasn't having enough screen time.
And if it was him, that'd have been even worse. Imagine just having the films where they have the big reveal of who it is someone who hasn't been in the film. That's the worst.
Yeah.
They did that in one of the Screams. It's like, it's me. Your brother.
I'm your half brother on your mother's uncle's brother's
and I haven't been in the film till now.
No.
So you can't guess who it is because they're not in the film?
Exactly.
Anyhow.
So as he's saying that there is a second werewolf and that he loves Ellie, a fucking wolf breaks through the glass, shattering glass and chasing after Ellie. She somehow climbs through the wall and is sort of between the wall and the glass mirrors, and the werewolf starts punching through walls. At one point, it actually punches through the wall and it hits an electric main.
Because she's sort of she hides in the wall cavity.
Yeah.
And she's going through, and he punches, the electric box, and goes, and it's just well, it didn't do anything.
Yeah. And then immediately turns and directs its attention to Bo and Jimmy.
Which were still in the mirror maze.
Yeah. So Bo and Jimmy go running off together, and then they're like, okay, you know what the best idea would be? Let's split up. And they just run off in opposite directions, and
a mirror maze.
The wolf immediately attacks Bo.
And kind of just hits him, punches him, or backhands him out of shot.
Yeah.
And that's the end. And you're
I'm like, for this movie, this could be an off-screen death. Who knows? We don't know.
But in this film, the fact that he's got claws and everything, the fact that if he hits anyone, they must turn into a werewolf. So everyone in this film, because of how small the other werewolf shit is happening.
Yeah.
So
Ellie runs back out into the party, and as she approaches a police officer to be like, look, this is happening. You got to get people out of the wall of mirrors. The wolf bursts through the wall.
Yeah, there's a werewolf here. He goes, werewolf?
Yeah.
Where? And it's
it starts throwing people around.
Now, the werewolf, we should mention how different it looks throughout this film.
Yes.
So at this point now, it is just a man or a person dressed in what could be a converted bear costume.
Yeah.
It's got big fat arms. And I'm like, that's not what it looked like.
No.
It had elongated thin legs at the start, and it was really tall and that. And this is just a fucking big bear. And it looks like... And there's I don't think there's any CG in this last bit, is it? It's just a person running around in a costume.
Yeah, literally someone in a costume.
Yeah.
That is all it is. It's fucking ridiculous.
It goes from terrible CG to a bear costume.
So it's chasing people around. It's throwing people everywhere. It's not actually nomming on anyone. It's just
throwing people. It's like a wrestle bear. It's just grabbing people and throwing them. Or if it bites anyone or scratches anyone, they're going to turn into a werewolf. So
yeah,
there's no way that... And everyone bails.
Yeah.
The whole nightclub goes into tizzy, and everyone runs out, apart from the main characters.
Mm-hmm. Ellie's on the outside, and she's just like, oh, you know what? I'm going to finish this. And she turns around and she kind of Indiana Jones under the closing.
Yeah, because the security shutters are going down. So now she's in there with... So all that's in there that we know at this point, it was everyone goes out apart from Ellie, Jimmy, Jake, Bo's wounded. And that's all we know at the moment.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, Ellie's boss rocks up out of nowhere. And we are instantly told to believe, aha.
Yeah, because he's just
what's he doing in there?
Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, what's happening? He's playing, like, fast and loose. Like, well, you've literally been here the whole time. You should fucking know what's happening. Like, what are you saying to me? What's going on? She's just like,
he says something
show me your hand. Show me your hands. She's looking for the mark of the beast, and
he holds up the other hand.
Yeah.
And instead, and we're, oh no, it was the boss all along. But then all of a sudden, I think that Ellie like turns around, and then we see him in the background, and his head gets grabbed by the werewolf, and he gets pulled up into the ceiling.
It's like a silent moment as well, which was kind of cool. I really liked that.
I thought that was very cool.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy rocks up.
Yes.
And he's like, "What the fuck's going on? I'm Jimmy.
Oh god.
Jimmy Neutron." and then all of a sudden the boss falls down in front of them, and he's got some blood on him. And I'm like, and at this point I realized there's no gore in this film.
No.
There's a little bit of blood, but like
not enough blood. Well, that's the thing, because then
there are more gay insults than there are gore.
This is true. So I was watching an interview as well, a few interviews regarding this, because it's very hard to find. And they were talking about, like, for a Wes Craven film, this has a very minimal. Like, any other Wes Craven film, it would be like, oh, you
get bitten and blood would spill out of necks and shit.
It's like, oh, someone has a paper cut. We're going to need 3 buckets, people.
Yeah.
Whereas they're like, you have a blood budget, and it's literally, here is your bucket, and that's all you have to work with for the whole film.
It's just a Ziploc sandwich bag of blood that they got given.
Use it sparingly.
Which is basically how much blood there was in this film. There's nothing.
Pretty much. It's disappointing.
The boss falls down, all dead in front of them, and they're like, oh, no, the boss. And then you're like, oh, well, now it's not him. Well, how many more characters are there in the...
Exactly.
Anyway.
So they run off into one of the waxwork hallways. It's like the Hall of Divas. So you've got your Cher, you've got your Olivia Newton-Johns, like the Supremes and stuff.
These don't look like wax dummies,
They look really bad.
They look like mannequins with wigs.
Yeah, and like Jimmy jumps up on the stage, and at one point he's like, hang on, and he looks around, he's like, wasn't there 3?
3 divas?
3 divas, and as he says that, from out of the curtain comes blowing Judy Greer. She's the motherfucking wolf.
Was she in clothes at this point?
She was in clothes. Yeah, she's wearing this like really nice, cool. She kind of looked like a supervillain at this point, which I was okay with.
So Judy Greer, the publicist, is now the werewolf. Cut back to me, I guessed it exactly because I thought it was the dumbest thing it could possibly be.
Very much.
Not to mention, was she even in the scene before? Like at the party?
No, she was there for a few moments and then she kind of disappears. Which also leads me to believe that she knows how to control.
So the whole point of this film is just a girl who's jealous that she doesn't get to fuck somebody. So she starts killing everyone.
Well, she goes on to explain that Jake had infected her. So they had one sexy night together and now she's a wolf.
So being a werewolf is an STD as well.
Yeah, pretty much.
So as I said, any like, you know, contact with a werewolf in this film, it seems to be... You turn into a werewolf.
Pretty much.
So that means there must have been a couple of werewolves turned in that scene where it goes rampaging through and killing people.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, they, you know, that's a thing now. She's basically, she is a jealous woman. She's out for revenge because, you know, he didn't want her. He turned his attention straight to Ellie. So that's fine. So her and Ellie just start fighting. Yeah. You know, Jimmy at some point, he goes to pick up a sword and attack, but
pushes Ellie into a chair.
Fucks that up as well. Like, it's just bullshit.
He tries to impale her with a sword, but she just kicks him. So now it's just her. Why isn't she... At this point I said, why isn't she a wolf?
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
Why is
she would not be able to control this. Like, she's... a couple of months of being a wolf?
It said, no, but she says, at heart, first it was hard, but now I can do it when I want. Or something. No, she didn't say that. It doesn't matter. Anyhow, she's now just a lady, a blonde lady fighting a black-haired lady.
Yeah. At one point, Ellie just grabs some pepper spray from the cop's
He also hits
corpse.
her with a brick.
Yeah. Yeah. She grabs out this pepper spray and like starts spraying her in the face, and they run off. So as they run out, Jimmy and Ellie run out, Jake runs in and notices that it's Judy Greer, and he's like, "What? You? How?" And she's like,
He didn't know?
No.
He has super sniffing. He would have been able to tell instantly who the other werewolf is.
To be fair, they all would have.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I guess, I can't believe it's you.
And he's like, well, there's no such thing as safe sex with a werewolf. Oh, God, okay. Yep. Cool. Momentum. We keep going, guys. She's literally having fun, though.
But he's like, I can help you control it.
Yeah.
He's giving her the same spill. She kicks him away.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't like you now. Oh, wait up.
No, because she's just like, I will literally kill every woman in Hollywood until you have one choice. Me.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no.
And now we get the full transformation shot now of the publicist turning into a werewolf again. And it's a CG mess.
Mm-hmm.
So we're seeing, like, the legs, like, bits changing, the face elongating. At one stage, it looks terrible. The face looks like it's made of plastic.
It does. And then if you really think about, like, Rick Baker doing American Werewolf in London...
Yeah.
How fucking sick was that transformation? And that was all practical effect.
Yeah, this is all CG.
This is all bullshit.
It's a cutscene of a PS3 game.
Ugh.
It's gross. And the cops rock up outside. Yeah, the cops are here. Everyone's fine.
Cops will know what to do. Shoot first, ask questions later.
And that's just to show that the cops are outside.
Yeah.
But everyone's locked in.
So Jimmy and Ellie are hiding in the bushes in the Wolfman exhibit.
Mm-hmm.
Werewolf Greer finds them, and she's once again just starts throwing shit around.
And she starts throwing them around instead of killing. Because now she's a werewolf.
Yeah.
A full-fledged werewolf. She could just grab them and pull them in half.
Exactly.
She could just bite them at any point, but she keeps grabbing them and throwing them across the room like a wrestler. I'm like...
It's silly. At one point she does grab Ellie. She throws her into the cabinet, which was showing off the scepter that they had made.
Oh dear,
the silver scepter. Jimmy somehow finds a flaming torch in the Frankenstein exhibit, and he comes running back.
Because all the weapons are real. They
Yeah.
would be in a nightclub where you're giving people alcohol.
But he also has no idea how to use it because he is a piece of shit human being. And
the werewolf is quite scared of this fire for some reason. It's like,
we don't want to singe the fur.
It's true. It smells terrible.
Yuck.
Yeah.
Ellie tries to hit her with the scepter, but immediately bites into it.
The werewolf kung fu's her away.
Yeah, breaks it in half. And then Ellie somehow comes back and tries to shove the silver down her throat. As she's doing this, she's like
Ellie picks up the scepter silver bit. She's burning, and the wolf yells at her and she shoves it into its mouth.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah, so it goes fucking off, and then the cops come in. And then, she's like, there's a werewolf in here, like, you gotta be careful. And they're like, werewolf? Sure. That's gonna be a thing. And as they're ragging on her, bam, in breaks through the window. Because I think at this point as well, like, Christina Ricci
jumped up into the rafters.
Yeah, it's in the rafters.
Once it got burnt, it recoiled and jumped up into the rafters.
But she's there saying, oh, yeah, there's a werewolf in here. It's this person, and she's just like a stank-ass bitch, and she's got a fat ass, and she's this, and she starts ragging.
She starts ragging on the publicist's looks.
Yeah. And then
knowing it'll bring her out.
Exactly. She comes crashing through the window and just immediately, like, flips them off.
Yeah, that was funny.
I like that, but that was, the funniest bit in the film.
The werewolf smashes through the window, revealing herself to the police and everyone. They all look at her, and the werewolf just goes... and gives the finger. And I thought that was kind of funny.
The cops basically unload many rounds into her body, and she falls to the ground.
Yeah. We all know. But in LA, I heard cops carry silver bullets.
They do.
Why not?
And then you kind of go in for that one last scare kind of thing.
Final scare.
Yeah, they were saying, you've got to, because again, in amongst Jimmy's many rants about this, he's like, you got to separate the head from the brain from the heart. And I think...
Is that really a Because I saw that in the Monster Squad. They blew him up and he came back together.
He did. The cop basically just shoots.
Yeah, the werewolf like does the last scare, like goes, ah, and he just shoots it in the head, and then
And the brain splatters everywhere.
yeah, and Jimmy's is like,
He's
I guess that's separating it.
Yeah, he's pretty happy with that. That's fine.
And I'm like, what? So all you had to do was shoot it in the head like a human?
Yeah. Okay. So they're like, well, now that that's sorted out, we're just gonna go off and find Bo, make sure he's okay,
Yeah, and he's fine.
and also Jake's missing.
No, you can't find Jake. Jake, where are you?
Oh, who cares?
At this point, I was over it, and there was still so much more to go.
I know. The paramedics come in and they're like, okay, like you guys are gonna need like a trolley for this one. Like this is a fucking ton. Like it's huge, and it's not. It's just a very naked Judy Greer laying on the floor.
And I'd be like, whoa. And they're like, you shot a naked lady in the head? So, like, to them, like, that cop will just be done for murder.
Now it's a cover up.
Oh, dear.
They'll plant some stuff on her. It'll be fine. So now we're back at home.
They just drive home. Apparently, the cops don't want to talk to them.
No.
There's people being murdered, shot in the head. The place is probably on fire. Everything's been destroyed. People are dead. Just go home.
It's fine. We know where to find you. And they try.
This is Hollywood, though. This is
Yeah.
probably like run of the mill.
And, they're now together. They're trying to make sense of their newfound safety. They're no longer werewolves in their mind. Like, this, everything.
Yeah, because she was the main werewolf.
Yeah.
So.
But, of course, as they open the door, like, everything has been torn apart. Like, Where Zipper has been in the house, and it's just, like,
Oh, yeah, the dog fucked everything up. So they're like, ugh, we're alive and our house is dirty.
Yeah. Oh, God. There's no lights on. All the electricity's
Jimmy,
out.
go down in the basement, fix the fuse. He's like, okay.
Yeah. So, Ellie's sort of...
She starts to clean up the house.
Yeah, she starts picking up stuff on the floor, but unfortunately, something happens. She gets a little twinge.
We see veins come into her neck. Like, it's also happening downstairs as well to,
Yeah.
what's his name? Jimmy.
Jimmy.
So they're both like, oh, no. Oh, no.
We didn't do it.
Ellie picks up that same fucking weird cape splayed.
Yep.
And she's like, shh, it burns.
It
And
burns.
she's like, oh, no. The publicist wasn't the werewolf.
It wasn't the main one. The lights go out, the front door swings open, and Jake has arrived.
Yay!
Yep.
And he's all like, was he nice again at this stage?
He is being very nice. He's come back for her. And meanwhile, she's having some pains. Jimmy's downstairs. He's definitely having some pains. They're the little transformations.
They're like killed over. This is their first transformation.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude. And Jake's like, calm down. It'll be fucking fine.
He's
here.
like, it comes and goes, but I can help you through this. This is okay. This is what you want.
He's all smug.
It's fine. We can do this.
I love you. We're going to be together. He instantly snaps from like being nice to like just being like, now I hate you. Now we have to kill each other.
Quick. Yeah.
Yeah. So
he's like, yeah. So the only way you can break the curse is to kill Jake. And that's the thing. Like, she's basically like I don't want to be with you. You are insane. This is not happening.
But at no point did he ever be insane. Because if she was the werewolf the whole time, he wasn't killing anyone.
No, it was all her.
So he's not actually a bad dude. I mean, he might be a werewolf, but that's just like, it happened to him.
I mean, he seems like a bit of a dick. Like, just how he is with women.
I mean, I was a bit like that when I was younger.
Yeah, well,
And like,
So technically he's not a bad guy, but he is a bad guy?
Well, he's not a bad guy. I didn't think that much. I didn't think they made him into a big enough bad guy. Because up to this point, if you think about it, he hasn't done anything.
No,
He's
really
just been
hasn't.
a bit of a dick, but they're just going through a relationship, like a rocky stage in it and stuff. But you have to forgive people for their past if you're going to be with them and stuff like that. And she just can't. Like, oh, you had sex with women. I'm like, that's his crime in this film.
You had sex with women and never called them back repetitively.
Yeah, and you didn't kill them like the other person did.
Fair.
But he's getting blamed as if he did all the stuff in the film.
Of course.
There's no... I don't know. It just seemed weird. And I'm not saying that womanizers is a good thing. I'm just saying in this film, it just doesn't seem like he had done anything.
His biggest crime has been acting like a dude.
Acting like a bit of a douchebag.
Yeah.
But also, like, he just kept... And at this point, she should be like, oh, shit, I'm a werewolf now. I don't really want to kill my boyfriend for doing nothing. he knows how it works out. Maybe I should listen to him. And and if I do like him, because I said I've liked him in the film many a time, and I really love him. Why don't I try and work it out? Like, try and get a hold of all this. I mean, if he seems to be a werewolf and he's fine, why can't I be a werewolf and be fine? Yeah. I don't know. It just seemed weird. Her reactions were all like, it had to be a final fight, so we have to kill each other.
I think once he starts talking about killing Jimmy, because he starts talking about...
was the thing where they just went, now we have to give him something. Out of the blue, he just goes, I have to kill Jimmy. I'm like, why? Why? There's no rules.
Jimmy's a whingy bitch, but yeah. So, I mean, yeah, at this point, like, his face transforms a little bit as well. Like, he's trying to just sort of show that he's got a hold on
Ellie tries to stab him with the old cake server again.
Yeah, so he goes to...
The best weapon we know.
It's the only weapon. So he's opened the door to go down and sort Jimmy out. And she basically just, like, stabs him with the serving spoon, like, right through his chest. And he kind of throws her against the wall and he starts to, like, transform. And he's like, oh, my God, because his chest is all burning. And he's like, werewolf power, werewolf power. And then this is just where it just sort of starts to really...
Jake throws her across the room.
Yeah.
I feel like she instigated this fight. And if it hadn't said that one line about Jimmy, it would have been, like, weird. Like...
Yeah. So...
And then Jimmy comes in.
Yeah. So he's... laying on the floor, he's keeps saying such nasty shit to her as well. Like, he's being really mean.
He just turns now about, like, you fucking dead. He starts wailing on about the dead parents.
Yeah.
He's just trying to hurt her feelings.
Pretty much. And she's having none of it because her fingers start to elongate and she stabs him in the chest.
He's getting some werewolf powers.
Why not? He's rushed upstairs. He's got a shovel and he like smashes Jake in the face with the shovel. Jake starts to transform a little bit again, and Jimmy
goes to go for the kill shot, but his hands start to transform, which makes him drop the shovel.
Drops it, so he goes like, running off.
Ow.
My fingies.
His feet as well start to change, and basically all they do is give him so claws burst out of his shoes. His hands transform, which gives him the opportunity to be able to climb up walls now like Spider-Man.
Yeah, so he's Spider-Man across the roof.
Yeah, which kind of this looked okay.
It did.
I thought it looked okay. So he's like, he's jumped up onto the ceiling. This is Jimmy. Yeah. And he's crawling around like Spider-Man because Jake gets angry. He wakes up and he's after him. He's like, I'm going to get you. And he starts running on the ceiling and then he just kind of runs away.
That's it. Yeah, he runs off and then
Ellie and Jake start
jumps
wrestling.
on Jake and they start tussling. And then Jimmy he sort of like ducks back into the house, jumps on Jake and bites his neck. And that's where this is where Ellie stabs him.
She's made him into a double werewolf.
Yeah, he's twice the werewolf. This is where she stabs him in the chest with the silver serving.
He starts strangling her?
Yeah. And he gets shoveled in the face again, and then they basically start stabbing him in the neck.
We missed a bit.
We missed a bit?
So basically, she stabs Jake in the tummy, and it's hurting him. And then he rolls on top of her and starts strangling her.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy comes back on the ceiling as Spider-Man again. And he jumps down onto Jake from the ceiling and wrestles him off. And then Ellie sits up, stabs Jake with the silverware again or better.
Yep.
And then he's writhing around on the ground in pain going, how could you do this to me? I'm a werewolf. And my only weakness is is cake platters. And then, Ellie grabs a shovel and basically chops off his head with a couple of shots. So we don't see it.
No.
It's all from his kind of point of POV. So we see her smash into the downwards, and then we see her smash. And then we get one shot, which is the only violent shot in the film, and it's just a static shot of his body lying there with his head next to it. And I'm like...
Okay. And then he bursts into flames.
Over.
Yeah, he bursts into flames.
Conveniently bursts into flames. He just bursts...
Well, now there's no trace of a body.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Conveniently bursts into flames. And it shows him burning down to nothing. There is no blame. Yay. It's over. Yes. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the sexy girl from school rocks up.
Uh-huh. Yep. She rocks.
It's like the stupidest thing.
She comes walking in with Zipper. She's like,
I found your
and
dog.
Bo.
And Bo. And they're like, and I was like, this is fucking stupid. She's like, I found your dog.
Yep. And then
like,
him and Jimmy and Bo share like a bro hug, and then Jimmy kisses Brooke. And Bo kind of looks awkward as hell.
Yeah, they start pashing.
About it.
An elongated pash, and just in front of her ex-boyfriend?
Yeah. And I mean, and then they decide to walk off together?
Yeah, and then they all like...
And Jimmy's like, hey,
Jimmy,
Bo,
Bo and the girl walk down the street for what we can only consider to be a threesome.
Yeah.
Like, hand in hand, like... And I'm like, okay, so they're off for a threesome. Why not?
And then...
I mean, if you're going to have one, you have the other. You have it all once you're a werewolf. An ex-werewolf.
That's right. Ellie's like, nah, it's fine. I'll stay here and clean up, guys. Don't worry. And then she kind of just looks up at the moon and end.
And nods with first she nods with approval that he's going off with a guy and a girl. I don't know if it was supposed to imply a threesome.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, Ellie goes inside to clean. The end. And so the film ends with the main girl cleaning a house. The end.
Oh, Dan, what are your final thoughts?
This movie sucked. That's what I've written. It seemed like... I didn't know any of those tidbits about it, but I've written here, it seemed like Wes Craven was trying to recreate Scream with werewolves, but missed the mark entirely.
Yeah.
Like, it had, like... At no point did I feel like, when I watched Scream the first time, I was like, oh my God, I'm so invested. I want to work out who's doing this. Who is it? Oh, and when the reveal is like, that's clever. I didn't pick that, but I picked it from like the very start of the film.
Yeah.
And the gay bashing bits, nah.
No, not a fan of that. Like, come on, guys. I know it was, again, it was a different time, but even then, even in 2005, I think that was...
I actually think they retconned it later on to make him a gay character because they realised how much stuff they'd filmed earlier.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah. The acting was atrocious, especially from Jake.
Yeah.
Pacey's acting was so bad.
But has his acting ever actually been good? I mean,
I don't know.
aside from the Mighty Ducks?
I've never watched Dawson's Creek and can't even remember the Mighty Ducks. There was no gore in this film.
No.
Therefore, I'm like, is it really a horror film or is it just a waste of time?
Yeah, I believe it was a waste of 7 years.
What did you think? All these things? You just hate Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, once again, I come back to my hatred for Jesse Eisenberg. I could have done a full spiel on that for the whole entirety of the film. I kind of, I nothing this film. Like, I know that what has happened to it, like, the whole process of them going through this was just a nightmare. And I even think at one point part of the set or part of something burnt down, so they had to go back and do other stuff. But I feel that I want to see the film that they had come up with originally.
Or read the script at least. Everyone said the script was really good. And I'm like,
But, I mean, I'm generally not a fan of werewolf films and never a film that I go to, ever.
Yeah, I don't like werewolves. They're too inconsistent and they never make sense.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what?
I think we're now at a point, unfortunately, where monster films aren't really... You can't really sell a monster film to people.
No,
it can't be a wolf.
With
it can't be...
Remember that mummy one that they did?
No.
With then they did one recently. It was really good, didn't they?
I watched a werewolf film, but it kind of wasn't a werewolf film, called Hunter x Hunter, starring Devon Sawa, which was really good.
Isn't it an anime about a little gon that goes...
No, that's Hunter x Hunter.
No, the X's aren't counted in that.
Oh,
It's
really?
just called Hunter x Hunter.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, that's like Spy Family. It's not...
Spy X Family. It's Spy
it's
Family.
Spy Family.
Well, stop putting X's in it, guys.
That's just how they do it in Japan. It's like instead of a space, we put an X because X's don't exist.
This is not something that I will probably come back at any point and revisit ever.
Oh, nah. Well, would you?
No. What did you give it?
I gave it a W. Whatever. It's like, it's nothing. It should have never been watched. I got nothing out of it. It's just a...
Yep.
What'd you do?
Look, I've given it a W and a K, but I feel that the McConaughey is making an entrance there as well.
See, but it's not low budget, which is the K.
No, that's the thing.
You just use the hot mess.
It is a hot mess. It is a hot mess of a film. It is like Craven. We know he's fantastic, and credit where credit is due. He's great at what he does, but this is a very fine example of what happens when companies get involved and they shouldn't.
It's true.
So, yeah.
All right, next week. Is it my shot?
It is. What are we watching?
We are going to watch is it Peter Jackson?
Yes.
Peter Jackson classic, Bad Taste.
Ooh.
The New Zealand film. You haven't seen this, Jen.
I haven't.
This film is terrible.
Great. I love it.
Yeah.
Are we talking curse level terrible or are we talking like next level?
We're talking like on the level of... Imagine a really, really, really low budget Black Sheep.
Oh, I love
Like, this
Black
is
Sheep.
lowest budget in the world. Like,
Yeah.
it's like... I didn't even know if they had a...
There was no
had
budget.
a budget.
He got his pocket money that week and that was what it was.
But yeah, I haven't seen this in years. I probably haven't seen this in 20 years.
Yeah.
I remember a couple of scenes. I remember it being hard to sit through.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
But there are some classic scenes in it, maybe. I remember it like didn't make any sense to me. It's just an excuse that they wanted to make, I think, a zombie film.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Anyhow,
fine.
Bad Taste.
Excellent. Awesome. Cool. Thanks, guys. You've been listening to TerrorVision Horror Podcast with Dan and Jennifer. We are available on all major podcasting services and also on the YouTube. But no matter where you choose to consume us, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment or a review, and share with all your friends. We also have an Instagram at TerrorVision Pod, which will keep you up to date with upcoming episodes, trivia, and of course memes that are definitely 3 years old by now. We also have an email, terrorvisionpod@gmail.com. Let us know what you want us to watch, discuss, etc. Our opening and closing music is Void Swell by Sister Wife.
And remember, until next week, may all your dreams be nightmares. Oh, what a wow.